Did you know that the last Japanese soldier surrendered 29 years after World War II officially ended? Now that's a fact that often gets lost in the annals of history. Let's delve into this fascinating story. We're talking about Teruo Nakamura, an indigenous Taiwanese soldier who joined the Japanese forces at the onset of the war. When his unit retreated into an Indonesian jungle, Nakamura found himself isolated, still believing the war was in full swing. He kept on fighting, surviving in the wilderness on his own, foraging for food and living in solitude. It wasn't until December 1974, almost 30 years after World War II had officially ended, that he was finally discovered. Yes, you heard it right, he was fighting a war that had ceased to exist almost 3 decades ago. Now just imagine fighting a war that ended 3 decades ago. You might think that the most dangerous place during WWII was the battlefield, but did you know that training grounds were just as deadly? When we think of World War II, images of fierce battles, soldiers bravely fighting, and warplanes soaring through the sky often come to mind. But what we often overlook is that the training grounds for these soldiers and pilots were as perilous as the war itself. World War II marked one of the first major conflicts where aviation played a significant role. The urgent need for pilots led to an accelerated training program that was hurriedly put together without sufficient safety measures. The result was a high death toll during training itself, a fact that is often overshadowed by the grim realities of the war. Take, for instance, the B-24 bomber. This aircraft was notorious among the pilots, earning the chilling nickname the Flying Coffin. This wasn't just a catchy phrase. It was an ominous reflection of the deadly nature of the training grounds. The B-24 was complicated to operate and had a high accident rate during training missions, leading to an alarming number of deaths even before the pilots could face the real enemy. The statistics are staggering. More than 15,000 deaths occurred during pilot training alone. These were mainly due to pilot error, mechanical failure, and inadequate safety measures. To give you a clearer picture, consider this. Around 52,000 American flight crew members died in WWII, meaning almost 30% of pilot deaths occurred outside of conflict. These numbers highlight a grim reality. The war not only claimed lives on the battlefield but also on the training grounds. For many, the journey to become a warrior was fraught with risks and perils that were as deadly as the war itself. So the next time you think about World War II, remember that the bravest battles weren't always fought in the skies or on the front lines. Sometimes they were fought on the training grounds, far away from the actual war. Training to fight the war was nearly as deadly as the war itself. World War II saw the creation of some bizarre weapons. Ever heard of a cannon that could shoot across the sea? Indeed, the conflict was not just a breeding ground for courage and heroism, but also for innovation and audacity. One of the most ambitious projects of World War II was the German V3 cannon. This wasn't just a run-of-the-mill artillery piece. No, this was a supergun, a gigantic machine with a singular purpose: to hurl projectiles from Germany all the way to England. Now just imagine this: a stationary cannon, rooted in the heart of Germany, capable of firing across the English Channel, a body of water about 20 miles wide at its narrowest point. This wasn't about reaching the beaches of Dover. The V3 aimed to reach deep into England with a range of up to 100 miles. This was a cannon designed to shoot across the sea. The V3 cannon was a feat of engineering. Instead of using rockets like its predecessor, the V3 relied on multiple charges placed along the barrel's length. These charges would detonate in sequence, adding extra push to the projectile and allowing it to achieve such a remarkable range. However, the V3 was not without its challenges. The cannon was so large and complex that it had to be built into the side of a hill. Furthermore, the sequence of charges required impeccable timing to work correctly, and any error could cause a catastrophic failure. Despite the brilliance of its design, the V3 cannon was never completed. Allied bombing runs targeted the construction site, effectively halting the project before it could be finalized. The world never saw the V3 cannon in action, and perhaps that's for the best. Thankfully, the V3 cannon was never completed, but its sheer ambition is a testament to the lengths nations were willing to go during the war. Soldiers come in all shapes and sizes, but did you know that one of them was a bear? a story that sounds like it's been plucked straight out of a children's storybook, is, in fact, a true tale from the battlefields of World War II. Let's travel back to the year 1942, when a company of Polish troops found themselves evacuated from the Soviet Union and on a journey that would lead them to Iran. In the midst of this tumultuous journey, the Polish soldiers encountered a unique companion, a Syrian brown bear. Perhaps it was the bear's strength and size, or maybe it was the comfort of a non-human companion in times of war, but the soldiers formed an unlikely friendship with this bear. They named him Wojtek, a name that fittingly means he who enjoys war or smiling warrior in Old Slavic languages. As the bond between the soldiers and Wojtek grew, they decided to make their furry comrade an official part of the team. Wojtek was enlisted as a private in the unit, a title that came with responsibilities. The bear wasn't just a mascot or a pet. He was a soldier, and he had duties to perform. Wojtek helped carry heavy ammunition, demonstrating a strength that was unmatched by human soldiers. The story of Wojtek doesn't end there. As the unit moved to Italy between 1943 and 1944, Wojtek moved with them. He became a celebrity among the troops, a symbol of resilience and strength in the face of a brutal and relentless war. After the war, Wojtek was honorably discharged. He found a peaceful home in Edinburgh Zoo, where he lived until his death in 1963. To this day, memorials and statues of Wojtek stand tall in Poland and Scotland, commemorating the bear soldier's service and the unique bond he shared with his human comrades. Wojtek, the bear soldier, is a reminder of the unusual friendships that can form even in the midst of war. His story reminds us that even in the darkest times, there can be moments of light, friendship, and unexpected camaraderie. Mahatma Gandhi is known worldwide as a symbol of peace. But did you know he tried to send a message of peace to Hitler during WWII? That's right. The man who preached nonviolence and peace reached out to one of history's most brutal dictators. In the midst of the global turmoil, Gandhi, a man of profound wisdom and deep commitment to peace, wrote 2 letters to Adolf Hitler, the then Chancellor of Germany, in an attempt to prevent the catastrophic war. In these letters, he addressed Hitler as "dear friend," a testament to his belief in the power of love and understanding to overcome hatred and violence. His first letter, penned in 1939, right before the outbreak of World War II, was a heartfelt plea to Hitler to avoid war. However, the British government, which was in control of India at the time, intercepted and confiscated the letter. Undeterred, Gandhi wrote another letter in 1940. In it, he acknowledged Hitler's feelings of indignation but urged him to reconsider his path. He wrote, "I appeal to you in the name of humanity to stop the war. You will lose nothing by referring all the matters of dispute between you and Great Britain to an international tribunal of your joint choice." Despite the earnest appeal, the second letter, like the first, never reached Hitler. The world continued to be engulfed in the flames of war, and millions lost their lives. It's hard to say if Hitler would have heeded Gandhi's plea, but it's a chilling reminder of the desperate attempts for peace in the face of impending doom. What's remarkable is Gandhi's unyielding faith in non-violence, even in the face of such a devastating war. He believed in the power of peace and compassion over violence and hatred, a belief he held onto even when communicating with a man known for his brutality. Gandhi's letter is a poignant reminder of the pursuit of peace, even in the darkest of times. Even when the world was on fire, there were those who dared to dream of peace, to reach out across enemy lines and plead for humanity. World War II was a time of intense conflict and technological advancements. But as we've seen, it was also a time of surprising stories and unexpected heroes. We delved into the strange tale of Teruo Nakamura, the last Japanese soldier to surrender, almost 3 decades after the war had officially ended. We explored the shocking number of pilots who lost their lives not on the battlefield but during training, due to the rush of preparing for an aerial war. We looked at the ambitious yet unrealized V3 cannon project that aimed to shoot projectiles from Germany to England. We met Wojtek, the bear soldier of Poland who carried ammunition and boosted morale. And we read the heartfelt yet unheeded letter from Mahatma Gandhi to Adolf Hitler, pleading for peace. From a lone soldier fighting a long-ended war to a bear serving in the military, WWII was full of surprises.